Welcome to our podcast. I am Flavia Rita Babidia, a self-care and a stress care coach. And with me,
Jocelyn Kajumba, a neuropsychologist. Welcome to the Who Lied to You podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the different lies that we've been told growing up and share personal stories on how they've personally affected us. Flavia, what's the biggest lie you've been told?
I think the biggest lie that I've been told is work hard and all will be well. Work hard and this life will be easy for you.
Tell us more.
Growing up, I don't remember a time I haven't worked hard, honestly. But I've realized that there's not much that comes out of working hard unless you add another kind of energy to it, if I may say. So let me explain. Growing up, of course, parents take you to school and you start nursery, primary school. I think the biggest thing that we did in our primary school was the PLE.
Yeah.
And I remember working too hard at that time, right? I worked too hard.
For 4 papers.
And yes, I happened to pass with good grades. Went to my first choice school. And I thought, when I was in P7, I thought that was all the working hard I needed to do in my life. I realized it never ends. It never ends. So when we move into secondary school, still the working hard goes on. You continue doing what you have to do, waking up for classes. Luckily, in my school, we never used to have morning prep. But on a personal level, because you've been told work hard, you're like, yeah, I need to show up on a personal basis. So you go on and work hard. S4 comes, you have exams. You work hard, yes. You continue working hard. Then S6 comes as well. You continue working hard. It looks like something that never ends.
Yeah.
So I've always asked myself, when does this all stop? Lo and behold, we are still working hard. And not to say that it hasn't paid off.
Yeah.
I'm sure it has paid off. But I think adulting has showed me that working hard is not enough. They should have told us the other things that we needed to add to this entire equation.
Like what?
And so I've realized that beyond just working hard, you need to know God. For me personally, I've realized that I could work so hard in my own strength, but if I don't have the grace of God over me, if I don't have His favor, if I don't have His guidance and all these things, it is all useless. It can be useless. Because so many people work hard, So many people have been brought up to think that it is all within your strength to get what you want to get. To an extent, yes. But to a larger extent, I've realized that it is God that blesses the works of our hands. So you may work hard, you may do all that you need to do. And like I've said, it never, never, never ends. So for me, I realized that now, at this age of mine, I've realized that I've worked hard all my life. I've gotten to a point of having a family, still worked hard, tried to do my best, and had children, now opened businesses, now did this and that and that. But there was still some emptiness. I felt like I wasn't getting to the end of it. And so I realized that it's not in my own strength that I have all that I have. So I now focus more energies onto seeking God than investing myself entirely into working hard, because the journey will never end. However, with God's grace and blessings, they will take me further than anything that I can imagine. So for me, that's the biggest lie that I was told. And now when I talk to people and my children, I'm sure I'll let them know that work hard, but work harder at knowing God.
Yeah.
Work harder and work hardest at knowing God. That is the best thing that you can do for yourself.
Because there's even a verse in the Bible of seek first the kingdom of God and everything shall be added unto you. So God already knows all these we need. Like, he knows you're not supposed to even work hard. He knows he'll connect you, he'll guide you and lead you.
For me, that has been danger, actually. Thank you for that verse. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. And yes, that for me held me a bit and I told myself, you know what, do what you have to do, but seek God. Work hard, they start seeking God. So for me, that has been life-changing, and I've seen it work in my life. Otherwise, toiling in your own strength can get you to the end of your life without much to show.
Can get you into stress and trauma.
Can get you to the end of your life through stress and all these kind of things that we stress about in life, and you won't see the fruits of your labor without God. Yes. So for me, that's been my story.
Okay.
But I would also love to hear your part. What is the biggest lie you have been told in this life?
Well, there are quite many, but one that comes to mind is time heals all wounds.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that wound. You look to be...
There are quite many.
Okay.
There are quite many wounds, but I'll have to say one of them is actually family.
Yes.
Family. I think we give too much access, too much allowance to family hurting us because it's family.
Yes.
So we give that without even knowing. You know, it's family.
Yes.
You don't choose your family. This is your family. So one member of the family actually really hurt me. And I thought, by then I was young, so I thought I would actually get over it when I grow up, because, you know, maybe then I don't understand them. I need to understand what they were doing, or maybe when I grow up, I'll see it from a different perspective. But at this age that I am, very young age, I have noticed that memory is stored in the part of the brain that does not tell time. So, let's say if this person held my hand in a very strong way, and Flavia, as you are going out, you hold my hand with so much strength, it's going to bring back the memory.
Yeah.
If this person had a particular scent that they were the particular scent that they were smelling during that time, and someone passes by me and I sense that smell, I'm going to be like, I don't like that smell. And you know, sometimes you don't even notice. You don't even notice. You're like, I just don't like this perfume.
Actually, when you say that about the perfume, I personally struggle to like the perfumes I hate during pregnancy. Like, my memory stored them. The minute I smell them anywhere, I remember the bad times I was going through pregnancy. And I don't want to smell them anymore. So I always ditch the perfumes that don't smell nice for me during. So the memory, it keeps coming back.
So scents, touching, all your senses, what you saw. So if it could even be a color, you know, I may not like, I'll just tell you, I just don't like that color.
Yeah.
But it's because the person was wearing it and it's stored in my brain. So what my brain is trying to defend me and saying, you know what, we went through this before. Yes, we've seen this before, and it caused harm, it caused pain. So let's protect you from this. That's where I think that gut feeling comes from. You know, you have this gut feeling of, I don't know why I'm feeling like this, but it's because your body actually remember. Your body is telling you that, you know what, at a certain point in your life, there was this particular event that harmed you, and we don't want to go through this again.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the lies I've been told. Time heals all wounds. Time does not heal all wounds. You have to actually work through it. You have to go through healing. You have to probably talk to that person. You have to
Do therapy.
Yeah, you have to do therapy and also make peace within yourself. Yeah. So that is definitely one of the lies I've been told.
Well, that is major as well. I'm sure our viewers have a lot more to say about time healing wounds, and would love to hear from you as well. What are those lies you've had through life? What is that biggest lie that you've been told in this life? Probably by your parents, by your friends, by the things that have been in your environment as you grow up or currently living in, and you feel like that is one damn lie that you can't really take. I wanted us to talk more about the different lies in different areas and spheres of our lives as well. So the one thing that really is quite crucial and interesting to the viewers that they may love to hear is something to do with relationships and love.
Yes.
And so I wanted us to get into that area a little bit as well and share about what lies do people go with into relationships. I know for sure that one of the lies that people move with into relationships is love is enough. As a married woman, as a person who has been through it, one thing for sure is that love is not enough, my dears. When you're getting into a relationship, when you're getting into marriage, anything serious, or even just friendships, love is not enough. There's so many other things that come into our relationships, be it friendships, be it more serious relationships like marriages, that make you realize that love is not enough. And after you've hit certain walls, maybe relationships have ended, maybe marriages have ended, maybe marriages have broken, you realize that love is fickle. It's not something that can be relied on entirely to help you hold the relationship together. But more than that, there are other factors that help a relationship to thrive, like the character of a person. It is very, very important to look into the character of the person that you're getting into a relationship with, be it a friendship, be it a relationship. Yes. It's very important to know that you have the same value system with a person.
That part,
It goes beyond love. Years down the road, you will find out that love was never enough just because you have this strong feeling about someone. And for me, it was, and it is still a shocker that I'm still recovering from. That I thought at one point that just because we have love, this would sustain us through whatever it was. But I've learned that there's more to it. Of course, major again is to have God at the center of all these things. And he's the glue in marriage, he's the glue in family, he's the glue in friendships. He really is the beginning and the end of so many things. And so I have come to discover that love is not enough. And I'm sure very many of you out there think that love is enough. If you love this person, if you feel this way towards someone, if they do this and it makes, gives you those butterflies in the stomach. No, my dears, it is going to change a little bit. Yeah, so that is something else I wanted to just talk about.
Maybe speaking about still friendships, there's this particular friend I had, and I really loved her, still do. And she was going through a tough time in her life. And I really wanted to be there for her. And I was willing to do anything to show support in any way that I could, of course, to the best of my abilities. And, but then the values, like Warren believing in the same things, she was a whole complete person. She was believing in something different. She liked different things than I did. And I was staying with her. So it was really hard for me to show up for her because the things she was doing, I wasn't believing the things that she was doing. So as much as I wanted to help her, I decided that, you know what, I'm going to help you from a distance. I'm going to love you from a distance. It doesn't mean that I love you any less, but it just means that I can't be in the same space with you. I can't be in the same environment with you because environment is toxic. So I wouldn't want to be a sponge and grasp onto your and latch onto your behaviors. So as much as I love you and as much as I want to help you, I'll have to do it from a distance.
Yes.
So yeah, I can relate when you say that even with friendships.
Yes. And it's very important to come to this realization that these are lies or this is not the reality of things. Because when you get stuck to the lie that you've been told, and then you experience something different, and then you have all these kind of issues probably in your marriage, probably in your relationships, it's going to cause stress to you. It's going to cause trauma to you. So the reason why we are talking about all these lies is to show you that there's a deep, deep connection between the lies that we've been told, the things that we've been fed in this world, and the stresses that we are going through in this adulthood. So it is important that we tell you the lies, or we discuss these lies, so that you pick the truth and then let that truth be what you move with to help you make better decisions about your life and help you navigate the stresses and traumas that you may be experiencing. The other lie that we have been told, I remember growing up, our parents always wanted us, Flavia, kendo somo go so okay. Techisobo say, I so happened that it so happened that in HSC I did PCM E, and because I think I had distinctions in the physics, in the chemistry, in the mathematics at O level. So my parents wanted me to be an engineer. So when I came into HSC, I did PCME. And when I did PCME, I remember my first choice at campus was software engineering. Fortunately, I missed it. Now I'm saying fortunately. I remember back then,
You were hurt.
when we missed it, I say we because my dad was very hurt. And I personally was hurt as well. Because, I'd always been told, what, engineer, doctors, lawyers, accountants, those are the things that people should aspire to be. Well, lo and behold, HSC was quite tough for me. And economics happened to be the best done paper that I did. So yes, right now I'm an economist. But I remember the time when the results came out, and my dad even said, I'm going to go and appeal to the university. Why did you get this? And he was stressed out. Also me, of course, it stressed me out because I knew my friends were going to Makere, and unfortunately I had missed out on Makere, so I went to Chambogo. So it also stressed me out. But because at the back of my mind, I had been told by my parents that engineer, lawyer, those are the things you should do. Like, if you give a cent, economics man, to be money. But anyway, I missed out on software engineering. I went into Chambogo. I got economics and statistics, and I did it. And had I stuck on, because I remember my dad gave me the option of, let's do private sponsorship. I'm like, you know what, Daddy, no, I can't forego my government sponsorship. And so I insisted. But because for him, he wanted me to do that. So it stressed us out at that point and all. But when I finally made peace with it, I can tell you I have no regrets. No regrets whatsoever why I did economics. And I'm so grateful I ended up in the economics class. And I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm serving where I'm serving. But anyway, why I brought that up is to tell you the other lie that comes with that usually. So when we're done with school, our parents tell us, omaze osoma, kendo nonye omulimu, va mu business tegenda kuwa sente. And as a person who is doing business now, I wish I knew earlier that business actually is a good thing to do, right? But usually when people finish school and all, our parents are stuck on my daughter, my son has to get a job. It is good if it is available and all, but if the opportunities don't show up, I have come to believe that business is a good thing to do. And we need to embrace the new things and let the old things die so that we're not stressed by them. So if you're there and they're telling you business, bata soma, genda of nonyo mudimu, hear it, but don't take it at heart. Yes, if God gives you a job, well and good. If there's no job and you can do business, you can do that. Don't let it stress you so much and eat you away, because it can eat you away.
I remember, I think last year, end last year, we normally have these health conferences, and I happened to attend one. So one of the organizations that was sponsoring it's an international organization. So it sent in its delegates to attend a conference. So what happened was I happened to sit with one of these delegates because I like interacting with, people that are higher than me in my space, in my field. And just get to know, the challenges that they face and all that. So I interacted with this man, and he's like a country director level. He's at country director level of an organization that provides health services to the entire Africa.
Mm.
So I sat with him, and I asked him that, I'm sure you love your job right now. And he told me it is very stressing because I have to wake up at night, I have to write papers, I have to write reports, I have to, like, there's a lot that goes into it. And you're like, and I told him, but the money, the perks that come with it, the benefits and all those, you get to travel, and he's like, no. So I asked him, if there was one thing that would change within your career, what would it be? And he told me, I would start my business. Wow. If only I knew. This is someone who is earning probably like he's at the top of, his field, and you look at him and you're like, wow, because this is a person who is given a car, this is a person who is given a house, this is a person who travels probably through different countries. The things we all want to do, the things we look at and aspire to. But he told me, no, if I knew, I would have started my business earlier on. So that took me back, and I was like, Jocelyn, go start your business. Batulimba, because this man, he's a doctor, he has his PhD, because the thing with business is that you're serving. It's your purpose. It's your calling. You have a personal relationship with it. But then with the work, there's already a system. You're boxed into something. You wake up in the morning, you do what you're told, you do not complain. There's already a policy, so you can't be creative. So at the end of the day, it's just do as you're told and don't complain because you're being paid. But then with business, you get to explore, you get to channel your creativeness. Yeah. So once he told me that, up to now, I still think about that conversation. So Flavia, you're well in with your business.
I thank God.
Yes.
And speaking about men, like you've said, it brought to mind that lies that they tell men. It is very disheartening. I think last year, close of last year, a friend of mine, an OB from university actually, called me up and told me, Flavia, you really need to talk to you. He told me this year, before it ends, please make sure we meet. Yeah. So I remember we scheduled 2 meetings, we missed them. But on 30th December, we said, you know what, let us meet up. So I went to see him, and we sat at a restaurant and were talking. And while we were talking, he broke down. And I was shocked. I asked him, what is happening? And he told me, this is something that I've been going through the whole year. There's no one I have told. You're the only person that I am going to tell this. So anyway, the lie I'm coming up to is that men have been told to man up. Men have been told not to cry. Men have been told to deal with their issues. They have no
space to release.
Exactly. Yeah. They have no space to release. So my friend happened to have gone through a separation and a divorce, I think, at least by the time we talked. He told me his wife had left with a child. They had one child together. And it had really eaten him up. He didn't know who to tell. He didn't know who to confide in. Because I asked him, but you have brothers. Why aren't you talking to your brothers? Like, no one knows. Yeah. I can't tell anyone. Yeah. I can't. And one of the things that really hit me, he told me he left his job. He said, you know what, Fabia, I got to a point where I was so stressed out. I locked myself up in my house. I stopped going to work. Yeah. He told me he didn't work for about 3 months. The good thing is that he had saved up enough money to take him through the rest of the
3 months.
But he said, I quit my job. I just stopped showing up because of too much stress. I used to stay in the house. Sometimes I would sleep in my bed. Sometimes I would sleep in the sitting room because anyway, I mean, I'm alone in the house,
Yeah.
you know? And then even during that time when I didn't have a job, my family used to call for help. And me who didn't have a job, I was the one sending help to my family members. But I didn't tell them that I was actually not working. So he said that is how he ended up going to bars to watch soccer. So he learned going to bars to watch soccer. The other thing he told me, because, Flav, we've started talking about stress and all these kind of things. At least I read into your tips and stuff like that, and I follow. He told me he had learned how to swim. It was amazing.
It's nice.
But when we were ending this conversation, he told me, Flavia, you're the only person I'm telling this. And I asked him, why are you telling, why am I the person? And he said, because you've now come out to talk about stress, man. Stress kills. But you see, because of being brought up as a person told that maybe a man doesn't cry, because he told me, Flavia, I will be honest with you, I cried. But that was the first time I was crying. I didn't know how else to release and react to I was going through. So he told me he cried, but he also told me that I don't have anyone to talk to. So men out there, yes, we know. It has been said over and over again, man up. Yeah, a man doesn't cry. Deal with your issues. So they box it all in within themselves, and it kills a lot within them, and they become so stressed. So check on your male friends, please check on your male friends.
Maybe to add on,
Yeah.
I was sharing, there's a time I was having a conversation with my brother, and I told him, men, you don't show up when a woman gives birth. You leave her, she takes care of the baby alone and all that. And he told me, you have no idea the stress men go through when a woman gives birth. A woman has a village. She has the auntie, she has the mom, she has the friends, she has a village that
You better take care of her.
Flavia, let's come and see the baby.
Yeah.
Let's cook and take this food for Flavia.
Yeah,
A man does not have that.
that's true.
But then also, a man has to go to work.
Mm.
He has to go to work and hustle
And get money.
and get money. Whatever goes through during his hustle, you don't know. You have no idea what goes through. Then he comes back home, and then the woman is like, oh, money, tandi kidao. Start from there, because I've been with a baby the entire day, but you have no idea what is happening that side when he's not here. So my brother told me it's because of that women look for avenues where we also have our community. Just like you have your community, we also have our community. That's where soccer comes in. That's where going to the bars comes in. That's where, having those guys, your guy time comes in, because we also want to it's not even about sharing, because they may not share their stories, but just being around that space
helps them
help them heal and deal with. Yes. So men, we are very sorry. We are very sorry. We apologize on behalf of the female fraternity.
The whole world.
And the whole world, yes.
The whole world, yes. And your forefathers. They are the ones who started these things. So anyway, the other and one thing that we can't miss talking about are the lies that have been told to women. I'm very passionate about women, especially because I see women go through certain things, but because of what has been fed into their minds, what they believe about themselves, you see them struggling with self-esteem, you see them struggling with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So there are those other lies that as women we struggle with, right? So I just wanted us to talk about one or two, or maybe list them all, and we'll definitely come back for a full episode on them. So if you're a lady out there, please share with us the lies that have been told to you about womanhood, about all these things concerning women, and we'll be happy to share about them. But what are those lies that you've heard about women? Personally, the one lie that kills me and doesn't go so well with me is that marriage is the greatest achievement that women can get in this life. As a person who's doing businesses, doing businesses beyond being a mother, beyond being a wife, I feel like there's too much that God has deposited in us as women that we need to explore. But we've been told that we should aspire to marriage as the biggest thing. It's good to aspire to marriage, but I believe we have much more in us than marriage. Just share with us one more and we'll deal with them next time.
Housework, definitely. Women should do the housework. As the man sits, as the boys sit, women should do the housework. But then again, men need to go through a certain phase in their life.
So for me, one of the lies that has been told about women is that marriage is the greatest achievement. I believe that there's so much within us that we can do beyond marriage. And as a person who has a family, has businesses, has a job, and now I aspire to doing much more for God, I know that there's too much deposited within women.
Yes.
That we don't have to only aspire to marriage, but we can do so greater things with ourselves. So share with us as well what lie you feel like women have been told and it needs to be done away with because it's causing us a lot of stress.
Housework. That's somebody #housework. You know, we grew up being told, how can a boy cook and yet a woman is seated? How can a boy do housework and yet the girl is seated? But then men are supposed to go through a certain part in their lives when they need to know these things. I mean, you can't just depend on a woman to cook for you, clean for you, wash for you. Because at the end of the day, really, these are basic skills that we need in life.
So thank you so much for coming to our first episode. We are really happy to host you. Once again, I'm Flavia Rita Babidia,
Jocelyn Kajumba,
and we can't wait to see you on our next episode. Please be sure to like this video, share it with your friends on all our social media platforms. We are on TikTok, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, and now we're with you in your living room. So please share and spread the gospel. We are here to help you bust the myths, but most importantly, to help you deal with the stress and traumas that you've carried throughout your life.